Okay, hello everyone. We're back again introducing our second guest, Jennifer Logan, who will be talking about courage and how to move beyond your courage, how to use your courage to move beyond your difficult season. So please help me welcome Jennifer Logan. Take it away, Jennifer.
All right. Thank you so much for having me for this summit. I am super excited to share with you how to become courageous. Courage doesn't mean you get afraid, that you do not get afraid, because, that's a natural feeling, something that you'll naturally react to. But courage means that you don't let fear stop you. And that's what's really, really important. Let me tell you a story. I remember when I was in the upper New York, upstate New York area, and we had a Women in Leadership conference. And this venue was approximately 4 hours away from where I resided. So it was difficult for me to pull this event together. Whereas, I had people flying in from all over the United States for this event. So it was pretty huge. But at any rate, I took on this stretch assignment, and I just said to myself, I can do it, and I truly psyched myself out to actually do it. So I was the mastermind behind the Women in Leadership program. And the conference, it was a 2-day conference that we were presenting to hundreds of leaders out throughout the U.S. And it was all perfectly lined out. I had all my panel speakers, my guest speakers, everyone was all ready to go. I looked at the venue in person a couple of days before we actually went live. I did a lot of video and used media, virtual connections, so that I could see that the venue was up where we wanted. And before we were about to go live with the event, one of my speakers said that she was scared. I tried to give her this pep talk, and I was like, you can do it. You're such a boss, babe. You miss out on this event. The time is now. You can do it. But she really became undone. She just really ready to accept the challenge, and fear conquered her, unfortunately. So at this point, we're about to go live. And I needed a master of ceremony. I needed an MC to MC the event. It was a part of the equation. It was a part of the event. And I had to step up and become that master of ceremony. I had to be the MC. I didn't have any talking points. I didn't have anything. I really, truly had to wing it. Was I scared? Absolutely. I did not know what was going to happen, what was going to come out of my mouth. But I had to believe weeks of planning for this event that I knew enough, whereas I could make a seamless transition from one scene to another. So needless to say, although I didn't have any talking points, I was able to step into the role of master of ceremony and direct the entire event. Now, during our breaks and our lunch, and then that evening prior to the next day, I was able to, pull some things together last minute, whereas I didn't have to totally wing the entire conference. But that put a lot of added pressure on me, obviously. But at any rate, it taught me something because, I truly believe anything that you go through, you actually grow through, right? Because you learn something. There's a key takeaway that you can get from a trying event. I may not have want to step in and fill the role of an MC, but I did it. And I did it very, very well. How do I know I did it very well? Because of the overwhelming feedback. The audience had no clue that I had someone back out and didn't play their role and didn't do their part. It was unknown to them. So that was a positive in itself. And what that taught me was I can do anything that I set my mind to. But that's not just applicable to me, that's applicable to you as well. So it may look like a daunting task, and it may look like something that you cannot do. But if you truly believe that you can, you'll be amazed as to what happened. What do you think, Christy?
I absolutely You're right. Like I've always said, if you've never tried something, you don't know you don't know that you can do it. And oftentimes we're waiting for the perfect time, and there's no perfect time.
Oh, that's perfect. Absolutely. Thanks for trying to be fearful of it and not do it, or get the courage with something. Let me tell you something. By career, I have over 20 plus years in human resources. I consider myself a human resource guru. That's my expertise. That's what I have my degrees in, my certification. And that's what I've been doing for the past 20 years. So that's my sweet spot. That's where I'm comfortable. That's where I thrive. That's where I live. I'm an HR geek. But the company that I used to work for gave me a stretch assignment, and I was asked to do something different. I still had to maintain my role, but they wanted me to try something for a week. And I said, okay, well, what's that? And they said, we want you to go on a buying trip for the company. We want you to shadow the buyers for our company to see what's behind the scenes in terms of how do we get all of this merchandise on our shelves. So I said, oh, okay. So I went to the fashion district in New York City. And what I got to do was meet with various vendors. I don't want to drop names, but they're very well known, very popular brands that you see them in any store throughout the country, actually, and internationally as well. So at any rate, I'm following these buyers day in and day out, and I'm watching how they interact with these vendors, how they select merchandise. And they don't just pick merchandise, they actually give insight as to, well, you know what, I don't like the stitching here, I would rather have the stitching there. So they actually are a part of the designing, which I thought was really, truly amazing. In this long days, from 7 in the morning till 10 at night. So it was really a very tough, long week. Well, we came maybe 4 days into the New York City buying trip. On the 4th day, one of the meetings was running over, and they were at a critical point where they were making decisions. But they had another meeting that was scheduled that they could not be late for. So they sent me on behalf of the company to represent the company to make purchasing decisions for the entire company. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. It got really hot. And I'm sure it was like all in my head, but it got really hot. I was nervous, shaking. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm competent enough. I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I've learned enough to actually walk in and introduce myself as power for this mega company that's huge in the United States. They're like the #1 retailer in the world. Well, definitely in the US. So with that, they was like, you just gotta go. We can't be late and we can't close this out. So I went scared, shaking in my boots, not knowing if what was gonna happen, but I was like, oh, okay. So then I said, you know what, get it together. Because the last thing I wanted the vendor to see was that I wasn't composed and together. Because if he saw that fear in me, then I knew I would make that meeting very uncomfortable. And then they wouldn't have very much faith in the company that they were going to try to push their product to. So I went and I psyched myself up, and I just kept telling myself I could do it. And I went in there and I introduced myself and told them the company that I was with, and the owner of the company was there. When he introduced himself, he gave me his name, and then I looked up at the sign and it was his name. And this is like a major company. You see this brand in like Macy's and Sears and JCPenney and Dillard's. And so this was a major brand. So we went into the room, and their team brought in all these different garments and designs and concepts and talked through, what the material was made of, and why they thought those particular items would do well with our company. So I went through the same exact process over a 4-day period that has been mimicked for me. And I remembered those core takeaways of what it is that they did. And I did what I've learned. So I surprised myself, and I was asking those probing questions. And I was asking, why did they think that product would do well with our customer base? And what was the buyback? Like, what percentage would they give us back should that merchandise not move on our shelves and they did not appease or attract our customer to purchase? I was a business babe. I was a business boss. But I would have never have done that if I reacted to fear and didn't make a decision to have courage. So with that, again, that's another story of how I conquered fear and acted on courage and became someone that I didn't know I could become because I just chose to act. Chrissy, have you ever had a situation where you just made a decision with courage instead of fear?
Absolutely. So for me, it was really moving into the entrepreneurial journey. It was the courage that I have to be able to step on. I haven't done this thing before, but I know that I have lives to impact. And so regardless of what challenges I was facing at that time, like I talked about English as a second language, I made a decision that it will not stop me, that people who are willing and who have been assigned to serve will listen to me. So that's what it takes. When I thought of the why that I was doing it and how, to me, it didn't really matter. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Christy, for sharing that. And that brings me to my next segue. When I became an entrepreneur, I said, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I can do this. I was scared. I was nervous. Fear was definitely higher than my courage. But I said, I will never know if I don't try. I will never know if I don't at least attempt at it. So what I did was I sought out a coach, I sought out a mentor, then I sought out a sponsor. And they're three different things. They're not the same. Sometimes people intermingle those things and associate them, thinking that they are the same, and they're not. A coach is a short term. They teach you the basics. Think of if you're into music, they'll teach you how to read a sheet of music. So that's what a coach does. They give you the basics. They teach you the basics. So when I became an entrepreneur, I needed someone to teach me the basics. There are a lot of information, the World Wide Web. I was able to self-educate myself on a lot of things, but I had to find other existing successful entrepreneurs out there and then become a human sponge and learn from them to learn how did they get there. Then once I was able to go through that coach phase, then the next phase is a mentor. And a mentor is a midterm in the journey, right? Because I said there were three stages: coach, mentor, and sponsor. So with a mentor, that's midterm. That's right there in the middle, that sweet spot. And a mentor talks to you and they individualize your plan for you. And they strengthen those skills that the coach gave you. So think of a coach maybe from a musical standpoint. They'll give you small gigs, like maybe you'll sing at an elementary school, or maybe you'll sing at someone's wedding, or you'll sing at someone's anniversary, or you'll have some type of singing gig at a local club, a small club, something such as that. So that mentor is giving you opportunity. You're able to test out your skill, and then they're giving you feedback so they can help mold you and develop you for that next level, that next thing. So for me, I went and found mentors and I said, okay, this is what I did. And then I take that feedback and I mold it into something else. And then I see a return on the investment. I did this, you helped me, cultivate it a little bit. And then now this is what I have, and I should reap some type of reward from that. But that's because of that partnership that I have with that mentor. Then once you have finished that phase with the mentor, then you graduate to the sponsor stage. And a sponsor is a long term, right? That's the person that's going to endorse you. That's the person that's going to talk about you to others to get you out there more mainstream. So if we're using the example of the musical track, they'll give you those huge gigs where you're Good Morning America and you get to sing, or MTV Awards and you're one of the singing guests, or BET, or corporate concert or a large venue where you're attracting thousands of people, they're able to endorse you and get you larger gigs. So in terms of a sponsor, in the business realm, when I became an entrepreneur, once I went through the coach, the mentor phase, then I was like, okay, I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready. My mentor says I'm ready. And now I find a sponsor to say, okay, I've seen you in action. I know what you have to deliver and offer. And I am going to go ahead and endorse you for larger gigs. And this is what we're going to do for you. So I love that concept, coach, mentor, and sponsor. As an entrepreneur, it has really brought me through an incredible journey. But I had to believe in myself in order for others to believe in me. And then last but not least, what good are wings without the courage to fly? You can't fly if you don't have the courage to soar. So with that, I remember I was going to the corporate office to get some type of certification. And someone was assigned to be a driver for a 15-passenger van. That person backed out. They didn't make it to the trip. So they defaulted the driver to me. Now, to know me, I don't like driving. I like small vehicles, something I can easily whip around and get around. But to put me in a 15-passenger van packed with people and luggage, yeah, that's not a good idea. So when we got there, I said, you know what? I absolutely cannot do this. I was like,
Then you're freezing out. I think it's from your side. Your connection. Okay. I'm not sure why.
hello?
Hello, go ahead. I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh, okay. All right. So to wrap it up quickly, because my time is approaching, I said, okay, well, y'all better buckle up, and I don't want to hear anything. I can't cut on the music because I have to have laser focus here because I'm scared out of my mind. I've never driven anything this huge. So we all loaded up. They were very quiet. I think I made them nervous. So the first thing that I did was I thought I put it in reverse, and I actually went straight ahead and hit the curb, and it was really bad. But eventually I learned how to command that 15-passenger van. Now, it didn't happen immediately. We were there for a week, and I was the designated driver for the entire week. But by the time we got to the 5th day, I was actually a pro at it. I got used to it. It wasn't so bad. I just needed practice, and I just needed an opportunity. So with that, I say to all of you, don't discount an opportunity without actually trying, because you never know what may happen if given the opportunity to do something different. So with that, thank you, Christy, so much for having me a part of the summit. It's been a blast. And if you want to contact me, my name is Jen Logan, and you can reach me on Facebook if you like. I'm very interactive with those that reach out.
Thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate you. You know that already. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the information. And audience, please be sure to contact Jennifer. She's over there doing amazing stuff and impacting life. I think you'll be going to Ghana this year. Is it Ghana or Kenya? You'll be going to Kenya this year. Is that right? Oh, you can hear me anymore.
Ghana.
You'll be going to Ghana. So I'll be talking to you later. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.